I die, I want all of you to do me one favor, and it's just one. It's not that I want the LSU band from Tigerland, the Golden Band from Tigerland, to play at my funeral. No. I do want the Golden Band from Tigerland to play at my funeral. It's 100%. But the one thing that you must all make sure that happens the day that I pass and I move on in this world, I want you to let the New York Yankees be my pallbearers because they're going to let me down one last time. I'm sitting here in the studio, free just through a magical game. He comes out in the top of the seventh, and now they're down 2-1. God bless it. Aaron Boone, why didn't you go to Fernando Cruz earlier? Why? Against this team of all teams? I don't know. But I will say this, and I know you're not here about that, is that October by far from a sports month is, and I know that it's September the 30th, but October by far is my favorite sports month in the entire calendar year. You got Major League Baseball playoffs. It was on all day. Playoff action baseball, which if you're a baseball fan, I highly suggest that you watch it. It's the top level that you can get. And then we got college football and NFL if you so desire to watch the NFL. I'm more of a college guy myself, but October by far is the best month of sports that we have. It's not remotely close. Kind of like how this LSU offense is not remotely close to finding their way. Solutions. What are they? Are there any? Is Michael Van Buren your solution, and why some of you kind of need to pump the brakes on that just a little bit? Do I think he could give you a spark? Yes. Do I think he's the biggest solution? No. We're going to talk about those solutions. We got a lot that we need to talk about. So we talked about the changes that needed to happen, the things that you cannot do. What are the solutions? What are the things that you got to do now to be better offensively for you to continue to progress and be better? Because quite honestly, guys, I don't know if they feel like that they know that they are. I don't feel like that this staff knows that they have solutions. We're going to talk about those solutions here tonight. We're going to give a little bit of a preview, things that we got to talk about. There's a must that we must talk about because South Carolina, guys, offensively is not good. And you got them in 2 weeks, and I think this defense will respond. Question is, what are you offensively? And Brian Kelly meets with the media tomorrow, and I'm assuming that we're going to have some answers and some questions that start flying around about Garrett Nussmeier and Michael Van Buren. So we'll kind of preview just a little bit into South Carolina. Blake, it's Tuesday of the week before that we play them. Yeah, well, they demolished Kentucky. They're not as bad as the Vanderbilt loss is what it is. Lenore Sellers got knocked out of the game. He's actually been throwing from inside the pocket pretty well. And quite honestly, guys, defensively, I don't know if they're as bad as some say that they are. And offensively, you are. So you got a game on your hands until 2 weeks. We'll kind of preview that a little bit here too. Carter Bryant joins us at 7:35. We will get to that and get to him when he gets here at 7:35. Nevertheless, we are live. Everyone do us a favor. Hit the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You are watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Every show of AYA Sports is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. You have the discretionary income. You want to go have some fun, bet some games of college football, you can. You want to go bet some next week games, you kind of already can. As Oregon and Indiana next week is a game that you can already bet. Oregon on FanDuel is favored over Indiana by 10.5, and that over-under is 51.5. I'm really interested to see what that line for LSU and South Carolina is going to be after the performance that you had against Ole Miss. But if you do have discretionary income, you want to go play some bets, you want to go have some fun, the number one place to do it inside the state of Louisiana and inside the entire nation of the United States, FanDuel is your place to go. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, go over to FanDuel.com today. That's FanDuel.com today and go /RG for more details if you have those thoughts, questions, and concerns. We got some comments flying in here. Let's get to a couple of them. One super chat from Survivor's Remorse says, wonder does BK regret letting go of Tommy Moffitt? A&M can run. I highly doubt that he regrets that, because why would he regret it? I mean, he brought in Jake Flynn, and guys, quite honestly, I mean, we're blaming everybody besides the strength coach right now. And I do think that it is a interesting topic of conversation, but here's the thing that I would just counteract with that. The thing that I would counteract is when you went out in the portal and got better personnel, things got different. You're a top 15 team in the nation in run defense. It's because of personnel. You may just very well have a scheme or a personnel problem offensively that you got to adjust and fix. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but that is the bona fide 1,000% truth. It's 1,000% truth. Brandon is in Lake Charles. He says, Lake Charles is in the house. Yes, where is everybody watching from tonight? We do appreciate y'all watching on YouTube. I mean, on Twitter. We greatly appreciate that. Hit that retweet if you don't mind as well. We greatly appreciate that. I saw this. DK on Twitter says, you saw the Nuss news. That's fake news. That was from a fake account on Pete Thamel, a fake thing. So that wasn't legit. It wasn't legit. Bookmarker Warrior says, I'm hearing things. Well, what are you hearing? What are you hearing? You can't come in here and say you're hearing things and not say what you're hearing. What are you hearing? Because there are a lot of rumors that are out there. Let's see if they're true. Some of them would make sense. Humbug says, Blake, who is the strength and conditioning coach, and is he any good? Jake Flint. I mean, he comes from Notre Dame. Right now, it doesn't appear that he's done a lot of great, and he's not taking any of the flack. But see, here's the thing. When you went out and got physically and more talented guys that actually worked defensively, guys, it worked. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if it's all on Jake Flint versus the personnel that you brought in that has nothing to do with him. I will remind you, Tommy Moffitt was here the last 2 seasons when you went 500. Now, Tommy was here for a long time. Tommy was here, and he's won a lot of national championships, and I love him to death. Tommy was the guy that I talked to in my early days, and who would send me stuff and be like, "Hey, man, Tommy used to send me my own clips from Twitter back in the day and say, hey, man, that's exactly right." I mean, it was always great to us, and I love him for it. Dane Bergeron with a $5 super chat said, Moffitt had the team doing strength and conditioning. BK has his team doing yoga and Pilates. Maybe Garrett should be doing yoga and Pilates to fix that core. To help Lane Kiffin out. I got to be real with you. I don't know how much it is on Jake Flint versus it is on just the mentality of who you are on offense. Because you are an undisciplined team, and we're going to talk about that a lot tonight. You are very undisciplined on offense. You have no awareness offensively. From staff to personnel, you have zero awareness. You know, it's like that awkward guy at a bar who's talking to a girl and she wants nothing to do with him. That's about the amount of awareness that you have. The stats prove it too. YouTube unacceptable name says, I'm hearing things too, but my doctor doesn't believe me. No one does. We'll see, man. I'm not going to be the one to say a rumor. I'm just not going to do it. Lucky Eastside with a $10 super chat says, if Nuss really has an injury, we should have sat him against Southeastern and brought him back against South Carolina. Only if he's really hurt, we missed that opportunity. Yeah, you missed the opportunity. But guys, do you see a guy versus Southeastern that you thought was hurt? I mean, what was BK told? BK was told, and he told you in the press conference, if you watched it, hey, we were told by doctors that he's coming out of it and he should be good to go. Did he re-aggravate it? I don't know. When Brian Kelly yesterday said that I wish I knew some of the details going into this game and I would have made different decisions, what are those details? Feinbaum did a horrible job following up with that question. What are the details? What decisions would you have made differently? Is it that you would have sat Garrett Nussmeier against Ole Miss? The question that Brian Kelly should be asked is, if you played an SEC team today, is Garrett Nussmeier on that availability report? Yes or no? Because if Brian Kelly comes back out there and says, guys, he's not hurt, then all of these rumors, all of these things that are going on, dude, guys, I really think like the throw to Xavion, when you go back and watch it, and listen, I have the clips right here. I could post them. I don't. I tell you all this all the time. Dude, we legitimately go through the coach's copy. Guys, Chris Hilton literally has 3 yards of separation on a fade route that you don't complete. There is a situation where you snap the ball right here, and if you can see this defender right here, he's not even lined up against the boundary receiver, Xavion Thomas. The ball's being snapped, and you miss him. That ain't got shit to do with scheme. You threw the ball out of bounds. So I don't know. I think the throw to Xavion over the middle was he thought the ball was going to get picked and kind of try to short on him a little, and it flooded on him. We'll see, man. We'll see what Brian Kelly said. But the overall situation, does he have a massive injury? If so, then why did you let him play? And if he doesn't, then what's the problem? There's only two. Guys, this is a black and white issue in reference to, oh, it's complicated. No. Is he hurt? Yes. Sitting. Is he not hurt? Okay, well then if he's not hurt, then what's going on? And then you're talking about him regressing, then you need to make a decision there too. Like, I don't know what else to say, guys. I don't know what else to say. James Daigle became a member on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I think we're going to do about 10 more members on the YouTube channel. And if we get 10 more, we're going to start rolling out that members-only content on YouTube. Yes, thank you so much, James. We greatly and humbly, very humbly, appreciate you doing that. Lucky Eastside, thank you so much as well for the $10 super chat. Did you send in another one? No, it was just that one. But thank you both so much. All right, last one before we get rolling here. Kaylee Como on YouTube says, Blake, I distinctly remember you saying in the summer that the offense was worried about dancing and not focused constantly. Boy, oh boy, is that reality making sense now. Yeah, I got yelled at. I got called, and I remember this, Kaylee. When I said that on live, I didn't really get hit. When we clipped it and posted it on YouTube, I got some very mad LSU fans. They weren't focused because they're doing TikTok shit. You're doing stuff on TikTok and you're not being ready offensively. Sorry. But, guys, you're getting paid a shitload of money. And I think that we have to revamp our thinking about some things moving forward. All right. Let's get moving here. Everyone does us a favor and hits the like and share. Every episode of AYS is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com today. Sign up today. Join today. Place those bets. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, go over to FanDuel.com/RG for more details. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back, what are the solutions for this LSU team? We talk about it next. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Hey, guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick.
We're back.
Tonight, we tackle one of the biggest question marks, not only of the season, but I think of the last two seasons. So you're through 5 games right now. You played in 13 a season ago. Or are you through 4? No, you're through 5 games, right? Yeah. So more than 17 games, I guess I should say. No, it's 17 games. We get to a situation. No, it's 18 games. I've been saying 17 games. Regardless, we got to start having solutions when we're talking about this LSU offense. And I think that there are a couple of solutions that can be fixed right now that take no real true effort. Like, number one, I don't think that you're focused offensively at all. And when I say that, that seems like a very generalized statement because it is. But on the field, you are not focused and locked in. Guys, as a team, it's one thing. As an offense, it's something completely different. LSU this season is 116th in the country in penalty yardage. A lot of those coming offensively. False starts, holdings, situations like on 4th down where Josh Thompson jumps off sides. So missed alignment. Too many guys in the backfield. You have been penalized from a yardage standpoint, and you're 116th in the country in total penalty yards. Not only that, you're 113th in the country in penalties. Majority of those coming from the offensive side of the football. You're 98th in the country in penalties called per game on you. You take out Southeastern, you're in the 110s. You're undisciplined. You know, Brian Kelly talks about the process, and I believe the process, and I believe that a football team that wants to be great has to have a process. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but he's not wrong in saying that a team has to have a process. We'll start getting focused. Where are you mentally? You want to talk about all the bad things that you do and the things that you can control. You can't control if Garrett Nussmeier is truly hurt. You can't control that right now. Now, there are some things that you can control and how you manage it, but you can't control the injury of him being fully healed. But what you can control, and what LSU has got to start doing this week, they got to get these penalties under control. Now, do I think the SEC is a little flag happy? Yeah, I do. There's a reason that you have so many teams in the SEC that sit in the hundreds from penalty yards allowed because their referees are part-time janitors, and then they referee on the weekends, and they're flag happy like they've always been. But regardless, you've played in the same SEC the last 4 years under Greg Sankey when they've been penalized happy. 116th in the country in penalty yards is eventually and was eventually going to get you beat. We don't bring it up. We don't talk about it. It's not a sexy stat. But 2/3 of those penalty yardage coming from you offensively. Now, you've had some PIs, and I understand it. But, guys, quite frankly, defensively, you've not been penalized heavy. I can name 4 penalties that you've had defensively this entire year. I can name about a half a dozen more offensively that have put you in very bad situations. Bad holding calls. Bad holding calls when Garrett actually does run. Bad holding calls when Caden Durham against Clemson gets a first down and you can go in to score and take a lead. So many different times you've done bad things. But offensively, and really just as a team, I question your lack of focus or focus thereof. You know, somebody brought up in the chat earlier about, Blake, I remember you in the summer talking about, and we brought this up earlier, so just in case anybody watching this clip, we brought the clip up earlier, or the comment up earlier. No, even in the summer, I did not think that there was a generalized centric theme for me that this offense seemed as if that they were focused and locked in enough. Guys, the on-field play right now from a penalty yardage standpoint is starting to bear that out. You can control that. If there's anything that you can control, do I think that you can get better in the run game? No, not really. No, I don't know if there's a lot that you can get better at. But the number one thing that has got to get fixed is you got to start being better at not committing and doing some of those dumb and stupid and silly penalties that are hurting you offensively and just really as a team. Because penalties are a team thing. They're not a centralized one side of the ball thing. They hurt everybody. But when we talk about solutions, and right now, we're talking about what are the solutions that this team has got to do to be able to fix things. Number one, fix the penalties. But there are a couple other things that you got to do as well. No one is absolving, and I think last night my words, so I want to clear them up, got a little misconstrued. No one is dissolving that the run game and offensive line has been bad. It's been awful. I think that there are things that we'll talk about in just a second that you got to take out of your playbook. That you're running too many things when you should simplify things and make things better. Because you have had now an 18-game sample size, now that we're just figuring this out, an 18-game sample size of Joe Sloan as your coordinator in this run game being abysmal. And when you look at that and you talk about it, no one dissolves that. No one is saying, Blake, the run, like, nobody's coming out here and saying, myself included, that the offensive line and run game is not atrocious. It is. It's god-awful. Because you've known that it's god-awful. And my question and thought is very simple. What are you going to do to fix it? Because right now, you're doing nothing to fix it. You get away from the run game way too early if you're Joe Sloan. You have one negative situation or what you consider to be a negative situation, and you completely bail from it. But you're going to have to continue to call and do things. And if it being a first down, that you run a mesh route, that you run a quick hitch, that you run a quick slant to get to 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 3 so that you can absolve some of those issues. Gus, when's the last time that you've seen, like what Mike Denbrock did a lot to Kyron Lacy in 2022 and 2023, if you got man v man on the outside with Nick Anderson, run a hitch. Catch the ball, run a hitch, throw the ball, make the catch, get down. Get 6, 7, 8, 9 yards and run the ball on 2nd down. Get a yard. Guys, you're running the ball for 3 yards a carry. Sounds good. You're not great, but you're running the ball for 3 yards a carry. Go get the yard. First down. Do it again. But you cannot, through 18 games, and this is the point that I'm trying to make here. I've seen in this media corps so many different people saying, oh, it's all about the run game. Yes, everyone knows it sucks. So now what do you do about it? Because this isn't new. If this was the first time in the first season that you couldn't just line up and run the ball, I'd say, guys, I'm with you. You got to figure it out. I don't know what. They can't run zone read. They can't run zone inside zone. They're literally not running any powers. They're running counters. They're not running powers. They don't like their offensive linemen out in space. Okay, I get it. So what now? They don't feel confident in it. You can't get any worse, so you should mix it up. But you can't just sit on your heels and say, well, we can't run, so we're going to take a hurt quarterback and let him throw the ball all over the place. No, what you should do is tell him, like you did against Clemson. Newsflash, like you did against Clemson. Hey, Garrett, we know that you can't push the ball down the field. Guys, they're dropping 8, and your game plan against Ole Miss is not to dump the ball off. It was to push the ball down the field with a quarterback that very well may be hurt. And if he's not hurt, who just can't throw the ball down the field. It's bad. We all know it's bad. So what do? You've tried to implement some things, which I don't completely disagree with. You've thrown some bubble screens. You've done some things out of the backfield with Xavier Thomas. You've thrown him some swing passes that have been successful. Okay, well, that's just extensions of the run game. Well, you might have to do more of that. And I don't like passes being thrown behind the line of scrimmage. I think they can be detrimental if your quarterback is not good at doing it. And right now, guys, he's not great at doing it. But you're going to have to, and to the third point, simplify things offensively. Guys, there is one thing in the solution that I would implement today and this week. Guys, here are the 15 to 20 plays that we're going to run. 15 to 20 plays, and we're not going to do anything else. We might run these plays out of different formations and at a different personnel. But these are the 15 to 20 plays that we're going to run, and during the entire bye week, we are going to perfect it. I mean, of the 20 plays, there's only really 4 runs that you can do. And I don't think that there's any simplification of if you go into a big package or a sub package and you go into a jumbo package, hey, inside zone run, huddle, 32 dive, ready, break, turbo set. It's not that fucking complicated. But you are over-complicating things from Joe Sloan and this staff. You're rolling too many guys out there and being cute. It's enough. Memorize 20 plays. Go out of different formations if you want to and mix some things up. I'm not saying not be creative from that, but you got to perfect at least 15 to 20 plays. You know, I never forget Saban always talking about, and well, really his players talking about more than Saban. They ran plays to perfection in practice. They didn't run it until they got it right. Let me reemphasize what I just stated. You don't run things until you get them right. You run things to perfection. So I get it. Blake, the offensive line sucks. You can't run the football. So magically it eliminates Joe Sloan or Garrett from making bad decisions. It doesn't. You got an 18-game sample size, and you got to figure it out. And you got to find the yardage that you're missing from the run game. When is the last time, and our guest in a minute could probably tell us, when's the last time that you went trips right and on the far left boundary through a hitch route? When? Now, maybe this is a little inside baseball here. Chris Hilton came back to the ball because the ball was underthrown. It wasn't a hitch. It wasn't a comeback. He saw the throw was going to be off, made a quick decision, and made the catch. First, just some things that I'm hearing. Find the 15 to 20 plays and run them to perfection this week, and don't do anything else. Because, guys, quite frankly, what else are you going to do? You got to find what you do best. And I know that you've run a lot of dagger routes. You've tried to attack the middle of the field. Your quarterback's not seeing it. But on first down and second down specifically, if teams are going to back out on you, first off, how do you not know? But second off, there are things underneath that, guys, it's a must. The interception that you threw, you had multiple checkdowns that you should have hit. And that's not really on Sloan, that's more on Garrett. But it happens over and over again as the pictures that we just showed you. It happens over and over and over and over again. You don't have a run game. And I know that you got to try to find one, but I think that there are some points in times where, guys, you can't abandon it. And if you're getting 2 or 3 yards, don't abandon it. Do it again. But there also comes a time where you gotta do things to remedy that. What are the 15 to 20 plays that you can memorize and run in your sleep right now? You know, when we were out at practice, guys, they continuously ran things at a different formations, different plays, and they ran it until things were good. Oh, until we picked things up, we ran it. They're not running things to perfection. You got to find ways to supplement the running game because you don't have one. And is an excuse? Sure. But you're also the solution that you have to have. What are the plays that are going to work? What are the plays that we can find that work and run them to perfection? Couple other things here. I don't want anybody going through run game schemes other than Brian Kelly. I think that if it were me, the solution that I would start this week is during walkthroughs, Brian Kelly goes over run game schemes with his offensive line. Brad Davis has those things revoked until further notice. Because, guys, they're not picking it up. They don't know where to go. Do they have a problem with getting on the ground and falling on the ground and not keeping their feet? Yes. But, guys, quite frankly, on some of these zone reads, inside zone reads, I don't think they know where they're going. I simply don't. So that's another solution. Defensively, the only thing I'd say is this edge room has got to start getting sacks. You have 0 sacks from that position. Outside of Jack Pyburn, you got to find it. But to wrap this up in the bow before we get to Carter, in those 15 to 20 plays, you want to find out something that I think that would help your run offense? Stop running RPOs. Fire off the football. Run power. Run counter. Do something. You can't abandon it. If you're only getting 1 to 2 yards, line up and run it again. Well, Blake, that's going to get us in third down. Guys, what else are you going to do? Last but not least, if you can't find a run game and you can't find a solution or a spark, you're going to have to find a run game from your quarterback. And it brings up a whole nother topic for a conversation that we'll get to with Carter in just a minute. You're doing too much. You're overcomplicating things. And quite frankly, this offense, more than anything, there's a lack of focus, and the penalty yardage bears that out. I don't think that they know what they need to do. I think the playbook has got to get simplified, and that's not even a word. But I think you got to condense it to 15 to 20 plays. Blake, this is LSU football. We shouldn't have to do that. Guys, what else are you going to do? You can run the simple plays out of different formations. Instead of going 12 personnel and doing it, go 10 personnel and run it. But mix it up. But what are the 15 to 20 plays that you can perfect this week and memorize this week and run them to perfection? That would be my question. All right. Oh, and lastly, I'm wedge blocking from here on out. I'm not worrying about the second level. I am running right up the center's ass every single play on a simple dive until you can perfect inside and outside zone. And I'm wedge blocking to the second level. We're going hip to hip, and we're running. Whoever's there is just there. And you have the guy legitimately right in front of you. Screw everything else. People don't like hearing that or saying that, but it's the truth and it's something that can be fixed. All right. Carter the Power Bryant next. Stay with us. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month and also doing those $99 tune-up promotions. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement, as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority. Hey, Southwest Louisiana, are you ready to gear up for your next outdoor adventure or tackle that next big job on the farm? Then head on over to Henderson Tractors, Boats, and Power Sports. At Henderson and Lake Charles, they've got everything you need under one massive 30,000 square foot indoor showroom. Kubota tractors and mowers to power through the toughest tasks. Polaris off-road bikes and side-by-sides to conquer any trail. And tracker boats with brands like Ranger, Nitro, Sun Tracker, and Regency pontoons for a day out on the water. Whether you're a farmer or a hunter or just someone who loves the great outdoors, Henderson has what you need to get the job done and have fun while doing it. Browse their new and used inventory over at their website, hendersonimplement.com. That's hendersonimplement.com. Or give them a call today at 337-436-4366. That's 337-436-4366. Or go see them over in Lake Charles on the corner of East McNee Street and Highway 14. Remember, if you need a tractor, go to Henderson. Need a boat? Go to Henderson. Or if you need an ATV or side-by-side, you know where to go. Henderson. Just let them know that your good friend Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you on by. Carter, the Power Bryant. Good evening, good sir. How are you?
Well, what's that meme of that old guy? Nothing's great in my life. Why would I smile? Huh? You know what I'm talking about?
I know which I do know which one you're talking about. There was a clip like you should smile, and he's like, "There's nothing great in my life."
But I can't help but smile of coming on here every Tuesday night, and yeah, it's been tough taking this in, and man, I just don't think I've seen a team really sputter like this in my lifetime. And of course, I'm talking about the New Orleans Saints and my dear beloved LSU Tigers. So Blake, it is good to see you.
It is good to see you as well. I would assume that you and I are going to have a very interesting conversation tonight. So I just lead it off with this. Carter, I'm going to throw it to you, and I think this is for an interesting debate, but I'm tired of hearing about the offensive line in the run game. Through 18 games, what have they done to tell you that it's gonna ever be there? And so if I know that the run game and offensive line is going to be an issue, isn't it your job to scheme around it? You know, last year there was a team that made the playoff who had a quarterback who had a torso injury and had an oblique tear. And I'm not saying Garrett's got an oblique tear, but had surgery, and they couldn't run the football against the 3 ranked opponents that they faced throughout the week. And I'm talking about the University of Texas. They averaged 39 rush yards per game against those ranked opponents. On average, 39. And Sark schemed around it. So why is it that they didn't make an excuse for it, but yet we as a team, fan base, and coaching staff seem to want to find a way to do the same thing? So I guess I open up the question and say, look, I get it. Is the run game and offensive line bad? Sure. Will Campbell's not giving up a sack this year, by the way. So I've referenced that for last year. So at what point do we look past this and say, what is the solution moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's important for your audience, Blake, to understand that, the biggest problem probably is the offensive line. The other issue, though, is that no one else is playing good. I mean, this would be the simplest way to describe this. If you're watching this, you don't have to know a bajillion things about football. With your own eyes, which position group on offense do you think is actually playing good, if not great? And the answer is maybe wide receiver, but now we'll see what's going on with Aaron. Then, of course, you have the tight end room, which has been a disaster. There's no other way around it. It's not been great, whether it comes to blocking or receiving. And then you go to the running back room, where at this juncture, the guy that you chose in the first half to give the most carries to, once again, there's interesting decisions to check in and out of plays. But the truth is, your wide receiver, Xavier Thomas, had more carries than all the running backs combined in the first half. That's not good. It's not good. It's one thing if it's actually working for big gains, but that's not the case.
Well, it's more productive than they have been, though.
Yes,
that would be the
yes.
counter argument. I mean, he's
Right,
still
no.
4 yards to carry, though.
But that kind of adds to the point. It's like it takes doing something like that to get something going offensively. And then you get to Garrett, who has regressed, and we could talk about the injuries and all of that. But he's not been as good. And it's really bad when you get into the money zone, which is the red zone. It's been atrocious in these last couple of real games versus Florida and Southeastern. So right now, Blake, this would be the simplest way to say it. Everybody stinks. And you talk about how can you work your way around it. It's good play calling. Well, they had Steve Sarkisian. Okay. We don't. We have Joe Sloan and the brain trust that is the LSU offensive coaching staff. And Texas had Gunnar Helm at tight end, who was really good. They had Matthew Golden and all those receivers, Ryan Wingo and those guys, which I feel is better than our wide receiver room. And then Quinn, as crazy as it sounds, Blake, I took hell from Texas fans never being high on Quinn Ewers. Garrett is playing to that level, if not worse, right now. So he's got to be better. And if it doesn't get fixed, this could get into the 8-4 range, and then we got to start asking some deeper questions.
Do you sit Garrett?
Right now, I would. Yes.
No, I'm talking about, like, clearly he's got a torso injury because you said he did. Okay, because you went to the mic and you said it, not me.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And that's the level of play. So if you do play him against South Carolina or start him, number one, how short is that leash? And then number two, does he sit? Because Carter, I got to be real with you, and me and you have had this debate a lot. He's missing the torso. I'm not gonna do this anymore. The torso injury has nothing to do with throwing the ball into triple coverage. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I don't want to hear about he's hurting. Then you don't play. You got to know your limitations. You must know your limitations. So regardless, it's not an excuse. But Carter, I sent you a couple of pictures. I shared it with it here. I shared them tonight from our personal conversation. He's missing. And so if it is an injury situation, fine, I understand it. You can't miss Chris Hilton in the end zone that wins you a football game. You can't.
No. It's that one. This is now two verticals that have been woefully bad, where it would have been walk-in touchdowns, and then there's other verticals that were missed. Now, in Garrett's defense, some of the it's not all on his.
It is all, the decision making is solely on him.
No, I wouldn't disagree with that, Blake. That some of
there's no solely. When you throw the ball into triple coverage, there's only one person who's doing that.
Yes,
only
Blake,
one.
There's more. I'm not disagreeing with you. Okay, the two worst misses of the game was obviously the red zone interception, and then the go route to Chris. Okay, that is.
I agree.
A gazillion % on him. But the problem is everything else is bad right now. It's
like what?
Oh, the tight end play we just discussed.
Okay, you threw the ball to the tight ends 2 times. Next, what else is bad? Because you're not throwing them the football.
Yes, because they're not getting open, Blake.
Okay, and when you do throw him the football, you're throwing to a 6'7" guy at his knees, and then you're throwing to a guy at his knees on the first play of the game in Bauer Sharp. And are we blaming that on them?
Yeah, but Sharp still has to catch that, and he did drift a little. And then on top of that,
it's a 7-yard throw.
Yes.
If he's drifting and you hit him in the chest, it doesn't matter if he drifts.
No, I'm saying he still needs to catch it. Does Barisharp still need to catch that football? Does he still need to catch it, Blake?
Yes or no? But see, here's the problem.
Yes or no?
No. It's a 7-yard throw.
So you're saying publicly that drop by Barisharp should not be caught.
I'm not blaming Barisharp for a ball 7 yards away that's at his knees. No, I'm not. Okay. I'm sorry. It's a 7-yard throw.
Part of the blame is on him. You have to catch that, Blake. That's
Carter. I gotta say this because it's a 7-yard throw,
and he still has to catch it.
Okay. But here's the thing that nobody in this media corps wants to do. They say, okay, it's a low throw, but he's got to – there's always a but.
No.
Okay.
Should Garrett throw a better ball?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
We got to get to the situation of what is holding you back.
So let me ask you this. Do you think Michael Van Buren, if he were to come in right now, which I agree with, I would seriously consider going to the Michael Van Buren situation for one reason above all else. If you know by now that this offense isn't functioning the way it needs to be functioned, and you know that the offense is really struggling, one extra benefit of Michael Van Buren outside of the running and all of it is that South Carolina is going to have zero actual tape of Michael Van Buren as he started.
I agree.
So I am in the camp right now with where LSU is and where Aaron Anderson is, because Garrett without Aaron becomes an even worse quarterback because that's his guy, right? He's a slot option. Garrett can't throw outside the numbers really that well at all outside of some intermediate stuff. So
he can't even throw that right now. He can't. I mean, he can't even throw that right now. Are we going to be honest?
I mean, he threw some good ones outside the numbers, some good ones, but I would heavily consider going to Michael Van Buren right now. I would.
Carter, I just feel as if that the decision making and then the play on the field always consists with a but, and
that's always the case with most quarterbacks. So,
but this ain't most quarterbacks. This ain't most teams. We've been in this situation for 18 games now, and it's got to get fixed. I mean, it's got to. I mean, I'm sorry. By the way, we talk about tight ends. The other throw that you had to one, you threw at his knees, and you put a throw to Trey Dez in the end zone. Why are we ever throwing – and this is the third time this has happened. Why are we throwing the ball and not up to him?
No. That was a bad. Like I've said, the red zone Garrett Nussmeier reps have been atrocious.
Okay,
that one's got to be thrown higher.
So now let's go to receivers. Where at the receiver position, I understand the drops and I understand the Southeastern drops, but I'm not even considering the Southeastern game, to be honest with you. At what point do we say the Aaron Anderson throw over the middle that got him hurt, the one into double coverage, the ones to Chris Hilton? What are they're not given a chance though.
Oh, no, I'm with you. I mean, those are terrible throws, but I would also point out that these route concepts have been really bad. There's some that
they're running Omaha and they're running dagger.
Yes.
And the middle of the field's getting taken away and he's not hitting his check down. That is a fact.
No, I've said that verbatim.
I know you have.
Yeah.
I don't like taking content away from you.
No, you're not. It's just what's happening. But I would also say that it's hard for so many different quarterbacks to succeed in this environment, which is why I'm partially on board with just even if Garrett were to magically get healthy and ready to go for the game versus South Carolina, just seeing what Michael Van Buren could do with the run game attached to it. Some of the zone read stuff that Michael Van Buren could bring to your team, even though he's not an elite runner, he has really good mobility.
He's got more rushing touchdowns versus Texas than Garrett does in the last 15 games combined.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably, in terms of mobility, not quite Diego Pavia level, but probably a little less than that when it comes to the danger of his legs. So he gives you something. And, I'm to that point. And then obviously the best ball that Van Buren throws, his strength is the deep passing. Intermediate stuff gets a little strange with him. He had a very high batted ball rate last year, which is normal for younger, shorter quarterbacks. But his deep ball is very beautiful in the games that we watched. And in particular, versus Ole Miss.
Do you think Garrett's making right decisions constantly?
No, it's not. It's
okay.
Not what I'm saying. Yeah, no, okay. I'm on the same page. And look,
all right. So if he's not making right decisions, is it an injury thing or is it a mental thing?
I think the injury, Blake, is really sunk into his mental.
Okay, let me stop you and ask you this. Then explain last year.
What about last year?
You had 17 total turnovers. So I asked the question.
His decision making even last year was better than what it was this year.
Oh, I agree. I thought 1,000%.
But one thing I would include is, once again, the offensive line. I know you're tired of hearing it, Blake, but it is so bad. It is so hard at quarterback to succeed if they can rush 3, drop 8, and get home quickly. And but this is how I would characterize the Ole Miss game and the struggles. Okay. When LSU was behind the 50, a lot of what went wrong was on Garrett and some inopportune penalties from non-Garrett players. Mm-hmm. The red zone and the plus 50 area is where things really got rancid for Garrett. That's where he had the crisp pick or the pick to Berryon and then the crisp miss down the sideline. And then you had some shaky situations where you had to burn the timeout and all of that.
I don't think he mentally wanted to do it.
Do what?
I don't think he wanted to do the quarterback sneak.
I think that's part of it too. And just piecing it together, you might know. I've been trying to reach out to figure out what actually went wrong there, because a lot of that does fall.
He didn't want to run it. He didn't want to run it.
So that's what I theorized. I said it on the air. I was like, there's no reason that's not an auto QB sneak on 4th and 1. Any competent coaching staff would already have that built in, but I don't know. I don't know. You might know. But the truth is, when it gets past the 50-yard line and then you get into the extended red zone, Garrett's a massive liability. You even saw it in some of the big wins that LSU had last year where it became a mess. So it's to the point where I'm starting to wonder if MVB is the answer. And I'll even go one step further. Garrett isn't as good of a quarterback without Caden Durham, because so much of LSU's success early in the games last year were checkdowns to Caden. And, you look back at the Clemson game, Caden had a big run to really get the momentum going of that game. So right now, there's so many injuries with the LSU that the mobility factor of the quarterback position might be necessary just to see if it gives some kind of juice to this offense. And
I think people need to limit themselves on Van Buren, though, in the sense of that he's not Jesus Christ reincarnated. But
no, I think he's a very solid quarterback with a ridiculous amount of big-time experience as a year 2 quarterback. He played arguably the most difficult schedule I've ever seen a quarterback play. And it was kind of weird, Blake, when you probably had this happen to you as well. When I do older videos, I got so many comments on the MVB film study I did like 7 months ago. And what was strange about that was some of the things he did in that Ole Miss game were some of the things that Garrett didn't do. And once again, it's not quite apples and oranges and all of that. I could make a very strong case that Mississippi State's wide receiver room in particular was better than ours. I mean, there's 1,000 different things you can point to.
Well, you don't know that until you can actually hit Chris down the sideline, like he hit Craver.
Yes, but I think Mario Craver is way better than
fair.
Chris.
But at the same time, if Chris is hit down the sidelines on both of those when he's got 3 yards of separation and he has 2 touchdowns, you're not coming in here and saying, all right, well, Chris Hilton has 5 times where he's been underthrown and gotten pass interference drawn on him, correct? 5. Okay,
but
hold on.
uh-huh.
Let's just say hypothetically 2 of those are completed for touchdowns. I don't think that we're having that conversation. All right, Chris Hilton's a massive problem. All right, I got to bring up another one. Carter, then if you know that they're dropping 8, then why are you constantly trying to hit stuff that's not there? And so that would be my question. And I ask you this, do they need to simplify things offensively? Personally, I think they need to go 20 plays, memorize them, run them out of different formations. These are the 20 plays we're running, and outside of that, we're not calling anything else.
Yeah, so 2 problems. So I'll address the rush 3, drop 8 stuff. Is that LSU did a really bad job of play calling versus those looks for 2 reasons. Number 1, all right, let's go to the Paul Mabinga sack that he gave up on the twist.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so on
of course he did.
What?
Of course he did. I mean, because they've got abused on twist all season.
So on 2nd down, they ran just everything deep. There was nothing in breaking over the middle. And in that spot, I rewatched this play 20 times today. There were a few instances to throw something vertical on that if you were audacious enough to do it. But my retort to that would be, if you're Joe Sloan, why are you running all this deep stuff into deep coverage with the quarterback who's not willing to throw it deep? Then there were some other
can't.
Yes. Well, and then on top of that, there's still a lot of pressure being generated on those rush 3, drop 8s. Then the second thing, Blake, was one thing LSU didn't do a good job of, which made Joe Sloan's job even harder, was when they had advantageous screens and runs into space, they were losing their blocks and gaining the absolute minimum on what was provided to the ball carrier at that time, right? So 1st down, run to the outside. You have 2 tight ends blocking Sage Ryan. You have a holding penalty. Then later in the game,
I went back and watched that Trey Dez. He gets hit from behind and falls down, and he's engaged. And it looks like his hand's underneath Sage's pads.
Yeah, go. Don't hold him.
You ever blocked? When you're engaged and you get hit from behind, it's not as easy as letting go.
Right, but the last thing you want to do is commit a holding penalty. And
yeah, sure, but
but I would be more lenient if there were some decent blocks into space from Trey Dez in the game.
There was one.
Which one?
Davion 12-yard swing pass.
That was a holding call.
No, it wasn't. No, it was not. He had a swing pass that went for 12 yards that got a 1st down, and he was tiptoeing down the sidelines and generated you a 1st down. No. The one that did not get called for holding literally went for 12 yards, and you would go down and kick a field goal.
Okay, and then there was
one where he got called for holding, and I'm not saying there's not. But
and then there was another where you had Harlem Berry in space, and he missed his block, and it could have been Bauer Sharp's block, which is why I'm grouping the whole tight end room. It's an issue. Okay, do you think the tight end room is performing well?
No, but I also don't think that they're performing as bad to make the decisions. The reason they're running that is because Garrett can't throw the ball down the field. And I think it's very difficult to ask a tight end that runs a sub 4.7, sub 4.6 to block a guy that is faster than him. To be quite honest with you, what does Sark do? He doesn't allow big men to run out and block small dudes.
Oh, he does screens all the time where he has guys in the
Carter, go watch the Ohio State game. It is a trips left, and they're throwing screens with receivers blocking because they're faster and can generate faster blocks to them. Helm's not out there. Helms used as the other guy on the backside. That's why you see all the seam route touchdowns. The fake screen touchdown against Ohio State.
Yeah, but I mean, there are times when the offensive line releases down the field and block guys into space.
Yeah, but
in that same game, that was a Travion Henderson that was the best screen ever called, arguably, where the offensive line released down the field.
Sure, but you're also
Let me do the tight ends need to block better.
It's everything but what's actually happening in decision making.
Yes,
so
but
Carter, there's a play that I'll send you that 3 guys take Xavier Thomas on a drag route and he's got 15 yards of open space to run. There are multiple times you can. Or is every play with this offense going to be perfect? No. But again, when do you get past the solution part of it? Because we got to move past this guy can't do this. You're right. They can't. They suck. So now what do you do?
Blake, I'm with you in making a switch at this juncture. I'm with you.
Okay. But what else do you do? Besides the move, what else do you do? Do you go to 20 plays and say, this is what we're running?
Okay, so this would be the second thing is LSU has not been good in scripted play situations.
No, they haven't.
They've analytically been the worst scripted play offense maybe in the entire P4. There was a guy, I don't remember his name, who interned at PFF who tweeted that out. I wasn't shocked, but the worst is crazy. So it's hard to do scripted stuff well at all. And even if you go back to the LSU offense last year, they were a slow starting offense last year. The Arkansas game, they started really well. But other than that, it's been a mess. But to our disagreements, I'm with you that Garrett is not playing well. I mean, it's that simple, but at the same time,
do you think Joe Sloan is calling some of these things to mask Garrett?
Yes and no. I think some of these calls make sense. LSU's been a mostly good screen team, throwing quickly to the outside. But other than that, there have just been some absolute atrocities called it by this staff. 2 runs to Harlan Berry in the red zone, one of which was outside zone out of pistol. That was
stupid.
It was bad. But Joe Sloan would say, hey, if we could there was one block missed on that play that would have sprung that thing. But that's the thing. If there's always one block or 2 blocks that aren't working on the run plays, then it is a problem with the actual run design and the actual run call itself. So the other thing, Blake, is there's just no identity to this offense.
I fully agree. I have no idea what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and honestly, the best play callers are storytellers, right? You're telling the defense a story, and you're doing things out of that one play that might work. We saw Lane do this quite a bit with his slot receivers in particular. So it's an issue to where when you looked at this game, the quarterback play better. Quarterback play was way better for Ole Miss than it was for LSU. The offensive line play was way better than what it was for LSU. The tight end room, same thing, and the receiver play was, I would say, somewhat of a push, but Ole Miss's receivers, I would say, did play better. So I don't know. I do want to include, and I'm not sunshine pumping here, but AJ Halsey played the best safety game I can remember at LSU in quite some time. So there were some positives that you could take away from that game with LSU.
So do you think that there's no, outside of Van Buren, do you think there's no solution other than him?
I think there is. I do.
What would the solution be?
So one solution I would make is go under center. Just see what you have with doing stuff under center. Just to try it, because this is really a DEFCON 5 situation. It's really, really, really bad.
It would actually be 1.
One is the worst. No, 1 is the worst, right? So it really is that bad. See if that works.
Let me make sure I'm right. Continue.
No, I'm kind of curious if you're right about this or not. I'm also personally a little bit higher on Donovan Green. Just see what you have.
Yes, it is DEFCON 1. I
Okay.
thought so. DEFCON 1 is the worst.
Okay. I would look at playing a few different players. I think the way, in particular, Nick Anderson played, does he deserve more snaps? How do you rotate these receivers? That might become a little bit of a cleaner look, once again, depending on Aaron's situation. And then one thing I would also do, Blake, is if you do have Van Buren back, get back to inside zone read and just see if that is what you need. That's obviously a
I'm
play.
eliminating RPOs altogether.
So you're out of the run pass option.
Yeah, because I don't see an offensive line firing off the football. I see an offensive line being passive, and everything's got an RPO based off of it.
Mm-hmm. I would also say, Blake, part of why I would want to go under center is, and this has just been the issue with even when they had an offensive line having all the guys drafted last year, the safeties are just able to do whatever they want to do versus our defense. And until you can threaten with the run game, with how modern football is played, you're not going to do shit. It's just that. Am I allowed to curse on here?
Come on.
You can't do a guy's thing.
Well, it also gets to a point where you ran the ball against Florida, who is much better defensively than Ole Miss. You ran a toss play twice to Juwan Johnson, and you didn't run it at all against Southeastern. You didn't run it all against Ole Miss. Why? You're one of your biggest productive runs of the season, and you didn't call it against Ole Miss. Can you tell me why?
I don't know. I really don't know.
And you know what else you could have done with that with Juwan Johnson? Guess what? You want to be creative? Guess what he was in the preseason? What was he? What position did he play?
He had he didn't wear a red jersey, but he was a QB.
I mean, like the creativity is just not there. Do you think this offensive line is truly firing off the football?
Like they can't even stand upright. They're struggling to not fall down after the snap.
They have a massive problem with falling on the ground.
Like look, it's
so basically it's a personnel issue.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's just the left guard play is really been bad.
I think right guard's been bad,
and Thompson has not been great either.
Poor Braylon Moore. He's trying his ass off, but he's got no help.
It's an inverse of where you were last year. So it's a massive issue. I will be completely honest. I'm not the sharpest football film study guy. I will never be. That's probably Brian Baldinger or whoever. I have never seen so many offensive linemen do who's a rock band that says, "Let the bodies hit the floor."
Oh yeah.
That's it. And sometimes it is guys
you move Kern into right guard or left guard.
I would try it, but if you were to do that, that puts Weston Davis back out there, who's really bad.
Sorry, but Weston Davis right now is giving me more effort than Josh Thompson. And you know what? I will live with blown plays with effort versus blown plays with less effort.
So you don't think Josh Thompson's trying hard?
No, I don't. I don't think your left guards know what to do. Brother, there's a play on third down in the red zone where they run a twist. One of the only times in the red zone they have a four-man protection, and Carius Kern pushes Josh Thompson to go pick up the looper. He literally pushes him. And he falls down, and then the guy trips. How does a true freshman know and you don't?
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at that.
Oh, I'll send it to you. It's god awful. He falls down and trips his guy. That's the only reason Garrett gets the ball off.
Yeah, I just disagree that Weston's been better than Josh.
I didn't say he's been better. I said he's giving me more effort.
Well, look, if you think that's going to work, go
Well,
for it. But
let me tell you why I do know that he's been better. Can I show you something? I got it right here. I should have just showed you this in the beginning. Hold on.
Yeah, or you could
Where is it? Where is it? Hold on. This is how I know. This is how I know.
I'd have to go back and I did.
No, you know what it is. It's
No,
when
I don't.
Garrett gets sacked against Southeastern.
I mean, they blew so many twists in that game.
Yeah, that's your guard.
Yes, so that's
he does not know what he's doing, and then people are blaming Weston Davis. I don't care if a guy with speed gets around his ass. I don't care. Not right now, because you can't pick up a twist.
Well, no one can on this offensive line right now.
No. Well, let me ask you this. Do you move Brad Davis? Does Brian Kelly take over offensive line? Like, one of my things, Brian Kelly's over the offensive line as of today. As of right now, Brian Kelly's over the offensive line or Alex Atkins. Be honest with you, if it's a personnel issue, then you missed in recruiting. Then you missed.
Yeah. I don't think that's. I know you have bold takes.
You can't be bad. You can't be soft. You can't not be able to run the football on basic inside zone and say, well, we recruited good. Well, then you missed. Instead of hitting the gyms, you hit the gym with the X in it on College Football 26.
I will tell you, I've not seen.
Somebody's blowing up your Discord, by the way.
Oh well, I'll turn that off. I didn't hear it. But I'm locked in, bro. I'm locked in when I'm on with you, boy. I'm bringing the freaking heat.
Brian Kelly's got to take over the offensive line, man. He's got to, because what else are you going to do? What else do you do?
And that's why, like, debating this publicly gets so awry, because it would be different if it was just one thing. But I keep going back to,
You're spoiled, remember?
Right. I reverse engineer sometimes my analysis, where it's not like, hey, what's going wrong? It's what the hell is actually going right. For me, the only player that you can even consider that has exceeded their expectations this year is Xavion, compared to what we thought that he was going to be. I'm not saying he's been the best offensive player, but that's part of it. It's like there are so many guys on this team that are playing way below what we expected them to play. And a lot of that falls on personal responsibility of the players themselves. And a lot of that also falls on the coaching and the development and the messaging. And then it gets into, well, we knew the run game was an issue last year, then it's still not fixed. It's still not fixed. And it's a problem. Like, I can't get over how big of an issue it was. And then you get into, well, will the defense be able to maintain this level of eliteness?
No. It's not a matter of if you get beat. It's a matter of when you're going to get beat again.
Oh, you're not telling your audience that we're not going 11-1?
Yeah, no, it's only a matter of if. I mean, it's only a matter of when, not if. I mean, listen, and to kind of wrap this all in the bow, if you do go to Michael Van Buren, you better be patient. You better have a lot of patience, because, quite frankly, if you're gonna give I don't want to call them excuses, but if you're gonna give the same leniency to Garrett, you got to give the same leniency to him. And by the way, he hasn't been here, so I don't expect him to come. I expect him to, if he were to come in, I expect him to give you some different things in the run game. I do not expect him to save you at all.
Let me ask you this, and you're on my show on Sunday, and you said you could see the possibility of this team finding a way to get to 10-2. Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, I think he could, but he would have to go off. Garrett would have to go off.
Right.
But but right now, even if he were to play, I think he would give you another win to get you to 9-3 because he could run on some people, which Garrett refuses to. Let's just call it what it is. Carter, in 2 years, he refuses to tuck and run the football.
So you think 9-3 is the most possible outcome right now, or do you think are you
right
teetering?
Now, yes.
Okay, so let me ask you this: are you in a shade towards 8-4 or 10-2 with that 9-3?
If you had to ask me today based off of but see, here's the things I don't know. Is Garrett hurt?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's just the degree of how badly he's hurt. And
okay, so if he is hurt, then I shade to the 9-3. I mean, I shade to the 8-4.
Yeah.
If he's not hurt, then I would shade to the 10-2 because maybe he could get healthy and then come back. But that would mean you have to go the month of October undefeated, which I don't know if you can.
2 home games, 1 roadie at 11 versus Vanderbilt. And then obviously, who knows, you can get some QB luck. Maybe Mateer's hurt more than you think. Obviously, if Michael Hawkins starts that game,
he's not starting that game.
No, Mateer.
We're not that lucky.
You could be.
We're not that lucky.
I mean, no, you go to the Super Chats. It's Jay Smacks on the chat.
Jay Smacks says, it's like Kevin Falk said, these guys didn't just come here all of a sudden. They forgot how to play football. Scheme for them. They are playmakers.
Yeah, I mean, partially that's partially true. And then it's also partially on the players to say, look, I'm just going to go out there and get some shit done. So I'm with them on that, though. It's a mess.
Lauren Andrews and Jerry Morrison became members on the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. More than you know. Dane Bergeron with a $10 super chat says it's time to make referee employees of the league. Did you see like 10 of the SEC teams are the most, like from 100 to 134? There's 10 teams in the SEC that are penalized the most. Have you seen this?
No. No, it's in
10 teams. You can just go to the NCAA website. 10 teams in the SEC, or it might be 8, are from 100 to 134 in penalties and penalty yardage. The SEC has a referee problem.
So would you take that as the referees are worse in the SEC, or do you think they're just
they're worse? They're worse.
You think they're worse in this conference than they are in the Big
like
10?
In the Big 10, yeah. Like, for example, this is going to get me in trouble. The Jack Pyburn holding call that they had. Carter, that's not holding. It's not holding.
Oh, you're talking about when Pyburn was held.
Yeah, when Pyburn was held, that's not holding. Sorry. If we're calling that, dude, come on. And I'm an LSU homer.
And the Weeks roughing was soft, but you still can't.
It was soft. It was soft.
Yeah, it's soft. But I will push back and say the ACC has had some horrendous.
Yeah, but they give me replay.
Oh, you would be more appeased if you had the microphone replay.
Yeah, I would love to have heard why they kicked Weeks out of the Florida game.
Oh, you're talking about like the communication while they're reviewing. Yeah, I would too.
I mean, I want to hear your logic. I want to hear your thinking. Who's got the controls? Is it the SEC? Is it in Birmingham? Or is it the guys on the field? The guy on the field for the ACC said, if you remember in the Florida State game, he goes, no, I have the controls here. It's my call. I'm like, damn.
Dude, I will say that if I was Wake Forest, I'm getting lawyers involved after what happened.
I know.
Dude, I would fucking, dude, there's nothing, because the weird, and a lot of your audience or my audience wouldn't have seen it because it was happening while the LSU game was starting, but they blew an offsides flag that would have basically given Wake Forest a win. It would have given them the win. And because they didn't call him offsides. It's an automatic alert to throw a go, and he had some intermediate guys open for a first down. So it got him
That's
in
just
two.
so bad.
Dude, Robbie Ashford. I felt for him.
Dude, he was pissed, and he should have been.
Yeah, I would. That one would not. That would not let me.
I would have been pissed. J Smack says Carter and Blake having 2 run plays in the first half is fireable. I'm pretty sure we had 8.
No, we had 9 and 4 went to a receiver.
Okay.
Yeah.
He also says you have 5. You have a 5-star freshman in Barry and a unit in Caleb Jackson. Ignorance.
Yeah. So they went to Harlem in the second half, and there wasn't. I do think Harlem did as much as he could on the carries that were given to him. The outside zone play I broke down, that probably would have gone for a tutty if Tyree could have blocked 51 on the backside. But I thought Harlem did some really good things, had some good, tough, short yardage runs outside of just a touchdown. But yeah, I mean, Caleb had a huge drop in the second half. I felt bad for him. It was the almost same exact drop he had in Ole Miss a few years ago. Where I would defend him was he was looking into the sun from the shadows. It's always tough,
right?
But you still got to catch it, and also that ball wasn't the best either. So I feel bad for Caleb. I really, really, really do.
Not good at all. Dane Bergeron says, in the words of Ned Stark, everything before the word "but" is horseshit.
Wait, who's Ned Stark? Is that Tony Stark's dad?
Oh God, you've never seen Game of Thrones?
I'm not. Wait, Ned Stark is a Game of Thrones character?
Yeah.
Oh, the show about incest?
I mean,
is there I've heard there's incest.
It's basically what happened in Arkansas in the early 15 to 1600s.
Oh no, Arkansas, Alabama, Oklahoma. That is.
West Virginia, I think, is the most incest ridden state, if I do.
That explains Pat McAfee. So
damn. I don't think he's
I'm actually a McAfee fan. I've met him before. He could take a joke. So if he wants to come after me, come on.
Adam says these excuses for Garrett have to stop. These are paid semi-pro athletes. He needs to be held accountable for his awful decision-making. The media and fan base have to accept who he is.
We've debated Garrett plenty of times. You think he's worse than Brandon Harris, and I think he's.
No, I think he's a horrible decision maker, and I think every time that you bring, I'm not saying you.
No, you can say me. That's fine. I can handle it.
Well, I just mean in general.
Yeah.
It seems as if that then it goes to everybody else's problems but his. And what I think gets missed is the quarterback position is the biggest position in sports. And when you're constantly Carter, he's got 10 SEC starts. He's got 15 interceptions and 20 total turnovers.
Yeah, no,
that's just not all on everybody else. And I think that you get to a place where you have a fifth-year quarterback still having the same problems that he's had. That's where the fan base, I think, is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you think that's where the fan base is?
I think Garrett is a solid quarterback who's hurt right now, who continues to be, in particular, really bad in the red zone. And where that really hurts you is with a bad offense. You're taking off points that are of the essence, especially with a defense that is as good as LSU's. So it's a massive problem, and I don't know exactly what to do other than just try someone else. But I've been called everything in your chat. Thomas calls me a square. I like it.
Hold on. If you want to talk about comments, go to my clip video from today.
Oh, I know you can ask your comments than me,
dude. One guy said it looked like I'm a person that looks like I eat my toenail clippings.
That's crazy. Well, that's kind of wild because
I don't eat my toenail clippings. That's what the wild thing is.
Good source of protein, but no, I don't know what toenail clippings taste like.
So chaotic. All right, I've kept you way too long.
Well, no, go to the other super chats because you're going to.
Oh, we had another one.
I'm already here. My steak's already cold in there, so go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No,
Twisted Trent with a $10 super chat says they need to fire offensive coordinator and maybe Brad Davis. He's regressing. Do you agree that they should move on? I don't. Should they move on in season?
I think the better question would be, did Brian Kelly even think about making a change this offseason? Because the LSU offensive structure was really bad this offseason. And my thought going into LSU and some of the regression that they've had this year is so much of the LSU offense last year was 3rd and long, pray for the best, and lucky enough we got a lot of nice plays from Garrett in 3rd and long and so on and so on. But there was no run game. There was no nothing with last year. And that was going to regress some because what we were doing on 3rd and long is tough to replicate. All right. Even if LSU came back with better weapons, it's hard to be as elite as LSU was last year on 3rd and long. And they were first in the SEC last year in 3rd down percentage, which is wild. Now they're not good on 3rd down and not good on any downs, and it makes matters worse. So I would have heavily thought, Blake, of making some type of switch or bring in some kind of analyst to help revamp what the LSU offense is right now. A good example of this, I think we can all agree that Josh Heupel is probably a better offensive mind than LSU's, right? Would you?
Oh,
right.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Okay. I think most of us would agree he's no less than top 10 or 15 in college football. And I do a lot of Tennessee film breakdowns on the SEC channel. And the
he's
offense
an elite play caller.
Yeah, he's elite. He is so good. But he tinkered with some things with Aguilar and all of that. And then it came out that he hired Jim Chaney as an analyst. And then you're like, well, okay, that makes sense. This offense.
Did you see Lane's documentary?
No, not watch it yet.
Lane said that his complete offensive approach changed when Art Briles and Jeff Lebby set him down.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then obviously
tempo.
Yeah. And
great play callers adapt.
And that was wild because, Tennessee's offense was still good last year. It wasn't great. It was still good. And even he went and got someone else that had more play calling experience than he did to come help him. So I think Brian Kelly, with all this offensive play calling and all of it, he could have done a better job to help Joe succeed. And I know he went and got Alex.
Well, we had that conversation. You and I had that conversation. I don't understand how he walked away from. I got to be real with you. I think the biggest here's the truth from me. I never really go after BK because I don't think he always deserves it. But the biggest issue biggest thing in my opinion, he's had a lot of downfalls. The biggest one so far is that he had the top offense in the country a decade ago. He was the play caller. And when he walked out there with a play sheet against Florida and then walked it back was the biggest mistake that he made at LSU. Without a question, because there are just internal things that LSU fans will never know that his hands were tied on. And I'm not going to go into specifics of why he did and didn't do things. Carter, he couldn't walk it back. He can't walk that back.
Yeah. I mean, look, I cannot get over when you look at this offense, there's no easy, right? Normally there are some easy things. And I think one thing LSU's done a good job and something they found, and all teams are doing this, is these reverses with Barry on, those are creative to put a positive spin on this. But outside of that, I mean, a lot of stuff just doesn't make sense. And this will be in my breakdown this weekend. This was a red zone play in the third quarter, I believe, where it was an out and up from Trades Green, which was being run literally in the same space of where the other two receivers are. And in theory, those two receivers are running small end breakers to open up the out and up, which none of that philosophically makes sense. That is a long developing play. You need the offensive line to protect for forever for that play to actually
feel like
develop.
that's a clear out?
Yes, but my point is, even if you, let's just say you run the clear out or whatever, where the receivers were, let's just say it was perfectly cleared out or whatever, and Garrett were to throw that ball to Trades, and it's cut off. You would need the all 22 to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it. I still don't know if one of the guys clearing out the space is the one that would actually catch it instead of Trades, based on how that play was actually designed.
Well, and that's why, can I tell you something that I truly believe? I think Garrett throws to the clear out guys, and he doesn't understand that they're clear out guys. Let me give an example. I think the interception, it was supposed to go to Bauer Sharp. I'm from what I hear and what I know, I think he was never supposed to throw that ball to Barryon.
So you're saying the primary is the shallow drag.
This primary is the shallow drag, and I think in this game specifically, instead of going 1, 2, 3, meaning read the top, middle, down, he was supposed to go short, middle, then deep because of his injury. I think what Garrett's been told is because of the limitation, we're going to reverse things. We're going to go boom, boom. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. And what he did against Clemson, right? What did he do against Clemson? He goes 1, 2, 3. I think that he threw to I'm not thinking. He's throwing to a clear out guy.
Yeah. So you're saying that
and I'm not guessing. He's supposed to go to Bauer Sharp.
Okay.
And so when I say decision making, that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. And even if it wasn't the primary, that's where he should have gone.
Even
with
if
it anyway.
It's not, even if what I was told was wrong, he's throwing to a clear out guy. You're dropping 8. If you're Garrett, you know that they dropped 8. There's no thing in the playbook that says to throw over the middle of the field when they're dropping 8.
Oh no, it's a top 3 nuss INT. I mean, I still have watched it plenty of times.
I'm about 99.7% sure he was supposed to throw the ball to Bauer. And I'm pretty sure his other check down, if Bauer was guarded, if you remember, Trades ran an out. The two are clear outs from Xavion and Barryon, and he's supposed to go 1, 2, 3. And if those are guarded at the last second, he's supposed to throw the ball to Trades on an out. I'm pretty confident. And I think that they ran that multiple times, and they kept telling him, you're supposed to go 1, 2, 3 instead of 1, 2, 3. And everybody on the audio is going to be like, what are you talking about? And he didn't do it. That's what I think.
No, the audio could still get it. I mean, we're not showing visuals, but yeah, no, I'm with you, and it's the truth is, it honestly does come back to what you were saying a minute ago, to Brian Kelly. And if you were to look at this, because I know we've went way long here, you as a program have to ask yourself, why is it that you have these all-time, and that sounds like hyperbole, but in terms of the LSU modern era, okay, from 2000 where we are now, 2022, you can argue that was the worst special teams unit LSU has ever had. Then in 2023, you had the worst defense, arguably, that LSU has ever had. And you could characterize whatever in 2024. Now the offense is where it is right now when you had continuity. And it's a problem, and it goes back to Brian Kelly. It really does, right? It's the common denominator is him. So he's got to ask, why is it that some of the units on these teams are rancid? This defense is good enough to be a championship defense. The offense was good enough to be a championship defense. Your first year, bad special teams did cost you some games, and it wasn't just one unit of the special teams. It wasn't just one unit of that defense. It wasn't just one unit of the offense. The whole thing became a total shit sandwich. Literally 2 pieces of Wonder Bread and defecation in the middle. That's basically what it's been, and it's a problem. It's a problem.
All right. We keep getting these. I'm going to go ahead and let you go.
No, keep going with the supers.
Okay. All right,
It's this beautiful face that's it's causing people to hit.
Chase Mack says, I mean, yes, but you have to get them into rhythm. I agree. I think you bail on the running game way too quickly. Skylar says, next man up mentality like Hurts and Tua in 18 natty. Should MVB have been put in at half and gives you a different look?
I would have heavily considered it, yes, with Garrett clearly being hurt. I was at the time I was fine with them saying, hey, let's just roll this thing out. It's a road game versus Ole Miss and all of it. And another extra bonus is, once again, there's a lot of value. Like, actual coaches take 10% of what MVB did versus SLU and say, okay, he's decent. But an actual defensive coaching staff would not take what happened in that game seriously at all. So
no, they wouldn't.
They would take if he would have
he's not with the first unit.
Right. So if he would have gone in versus Ole Miss, he would have been with the first unit playing an actual team. So if, let's just say, Garrett is hurt, you do have that extra bit of value that, hey, we're running the MVB show. So yeah, I mean, you could seriously consider playing the, hey, who are we going to play versus South Carolina game? And then South Carolina's got to prepare for both of them. So, you know.
We'll see. Dane says, Blake, explain why he can't walk it back. He's the head coach. What I mean, Dane, I think you misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm saying he can't not be involved in play calling once he got involved with the same coordinator. You agree?
Yes. I especially one who's younger in his play calling career.
I mean, he did it with Tommy Rees and he didn't walk it back until Tommy figured it out.
Yeah. So I there are so many things. If you were to ask me, hey, what's one thing I would do if I were Brian Kelly? And I was going to save it for my show tomorrow, but I'll give it to you now. People keep super chatting you because I want you to make $1 gazillion. I
gotta send you $50 or something.
No, yeah, you don't have to do that. I would take all outside of clear protection checks. I would take away a lot of Garrett Nussmeier's autonomy at the line of scrimmage, and that,
buddy,
I am very pro let the players have more autonomy because they're out there seeing things and all of it. But I do think you need to take some of that away.
You know how you do that?
You just go fast. You run tempo, and you keep things somewhat simple. So I will let people in on something. I've studied. I've not watched the documentary yet, but I spent an unusual amount of time watching Lane Kiffin, watching how his offense operates and all of it. Listened to an interview he did earlier today with Kirk Herbstreit, and they are really good at having what they're going to do next figured out. And
if you notice, Lane's given Charlie what he thinks that he should run, and then giving Charlie the option.
Yes. So, and I've said this plenty of times, and the only people who would know are actually the LSU coaches and the green dot and all of it. But the reason why LSU burned so many timeouts is we're very unsure of what we're going to do next. Now, some of that is you get beat on a twist and there's an 8-yard sack, that is a pretty drastic thing, and you really do need to reset. But you get into when you're checking so much at the line of scrimmage, it gets into a physical thing where your offensive line that's already struggling, they're in a stance for that much longer. The defense is able to change what they want to do. And part of playing football, Blake, with under 15 seconds on the play clock is it's Garrett out there doing what he wants because there's no helmet communication coming in after that. So one thing I would do if I was Brian Kelly is just go faster. Just see if that is something, right? The other thing about going faster is defensively, you can't do as much shit. You really, really, really can't.
And you can't sub.
You can't sub. And even if they were able to sub and you're still going at a faster pace, you can't flip cover. You can't do all the different things that you want to do, right? Which is why A.J. Halsey's game was that much more impressive looking back at it. So I would definitely go faster. I would say, look, Garrett, you're already hurt. All right. Some of the things you're checking into probably isn't best for what we're already weak at or strong at offensively. So I would heavily take that away. Now, once again, there would be some adjusting to that. There are some downsides to it, but that style of play is more valuable in the NFL where checking into the absolute best play is paramount. In college, just run shit. Just because you're running, more plays are played in a college game anyway. Just run shit and see what happens.
Would you go from a huddle?
I would seriously consider go no huddle. Just
let me just say this because I'm going to use this tomorrow, and we got a couple more, and I want to get out of here. They have not moved him out of the pocket at all.
Oh, on rollouts and stuff. Well, yeah.
Meaning, hey, he's a bad decision maker. Give him three options: 2 routes or run. Like, you want to know how bad play calling is? You hear all the time getting quarterbacks in rhythm. Hey, hit a play action, give him 2 options of receivers, and then if he doesn't have it, run or throw the ball away. Right? Like, you hear that all the time. Get this guy in the rhythm. You notice how they have not moved Garrett out of the pocket? And if he's injured and that's your excuse, well, what's it going to be like tomorrow, by the way, if Brian Kelly comes out here and says he's not hurt?
Well, he also said Weston Davis was having a good year. So I mean, I've heard everything.
This is different. Cole says it's bad enough they should consider it, but depending on who, they probably shouldn't do it ASAP.
I don't know. I didn't understand that at all. But Cole, thank you for donating. Yeah.
2 more. Let's get at it. Let's get at it. Thank you so much, Cole. I greatly appreciate it. 2 from Twisted, $20 here. He says, we see Brian Kelly get fired if he doesn't win a natty.
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, if he were to get, I don't know. My brain's a little fried right now.
Mine too.
I will say this is really bad if he doesn't make the playoff this year. It's really bad because the thing is, and you know, you brought this up with like the backup quarterback things and the luck that Texas has had with that. You have had some big breaks go your way already this season.
Mm-hmm.
Like Clemson being ass, Florida being unbelievably ass.
Which is so wild because defensively they're not.
They're not. They're truly elite. I mean, a lot of the issues that they have, it's just Lagway truly threw the game away. And Blake Baker's better than the Florida defensive staff. You know, I know Ron Roberts is your guy, but
no, he's not.
Well, I mean, you respect him, but and I do too. I'm just saying, like, I would still take Blake Baker over him. But the schedule still sets up pretty. It's set up nicely for you to make the college football playoff, knowing the investment you put into this roster, and right now, LSU. This was a big issue last year. They had so many weak links out there. You don't really have any on defense. I do think what's weird is we talked for so long and we didn't talk about the defensive issues. Which
Yeah, but you know why?
No, go. I'm listening.
Because if you're on the field for 90 plays, I'm not saying shit.
Oh no.
If you give up only 7 points in the second half, I'm not saying shit.
Well, I mean, you did say some stuff before I came on here.
I did. I think the Edge has got to get a little bit more pressure and get sacks, but I'm not saying shit. Because here's the truth. If you played even 1 ounce of complimentary football, you're undefeated.
Oh, you're saying we win that game if we could run the football semi-decently?
If you're going to ask me the question, you're forcing me back into our first debate. If your quarterback made better decisions, I think you win. Because I'm over the fact that you just can't run the ball and your offensive line stinks. I'm over the fact that you know that you can't block and you're not rolling your quarterback out. I mean, Carter, there's no reason that they should not be rolling him out. And to be honest with you, the Xavion play, and I will send it to you, when Xavion gets triple covered on a drag route and he's got 15 yards of green grass and the next guy, and I counted this, the next guy away from him is 25 yards, and I'm not exaggerating, and he didn't run, I was pissed. I was pissed.
Are you talking about the Suntarine Perkins when he got him by the undershirt play? Or Oh, okay, you're talking. And
no,
even then,
the second field goal you kicked on the third down, it's 3rd and 7, I think it was, and he's got grass, more grass than Willie Nelson's party bus in the middle of Nashville grass. Okay? So much grass, he could smoke weed for the rest of his days, and he doesn't run. That to me is, and then by the way, you forced the ball into double coverage and it almost got picked. I'll send it to you.
No, send it to me.
I'm gonna sit there and FaceTime you and watch you count off the 25 yards.
I don't do it because I've talked to you long enough tonight.
I know, but I'm just telling you, Carter, you're not rolling him out. You're not doing anything to benefit him. And I got to be real with you. I do think that this staff is a little bit tired of him checking out of stuff.
Oh, I know. Well, I won't. I'll keep my mouth shut on that. But
yeah, keep your mouth shut. But they're tired of it. Don't let me get in trouble. You don't get in trouble.
No, it's fine. I would just say that I've heard some things as far as that is concerned, and that pops up, and what that does. And I want people to really think about this in from a player's perspective, is that yes, checking into the right play could be something, and that could be really good for your offense. But it also requires everyone else on your offense to process that same information, that their role on this play is changing. Okay, now checking protections is one thing, but
and you're already taking an offensive line that's struggling with one getting ready for one thing.
Yes. So it causes you to overthink the situation. And I think Garrett has a big issue, and a lot of people have this issue when you are good at something, is that you don't always have to be the smartest man in the room. All right. There's a lot of people that struggle with that. We all have egos to varying degrees and all of that, but you don't always have to make the absolute perfect throw into the absolute tightest coverage. It goes into, the shit that Jeff Saturday was complaining about with Drew Brees and all of that. What Jeff Saturday was saying was partially true. The Saints won the Super Bowl checking down a lot. Running backs had 10 of Drew Brees' receptions on that Super Bowl night. But guess what? It fucking worked. It's what the defense gave you. Drew Brees, as great as all
guess what? And guess what? Guess what? You couldn't run the football.
Yeah, and they still.
Oh, who would have ever thunk it? By the way, if you had one coordinator that you could hire as your OC today, just need a name. Who you hiring?
Oh, me?
Mm-hmm.
You're asking me? I would.
LSU coordinator tomorrow. You're hiring who?
Oh, if I could pick anyone on the planet. Oh, you want a deep cut?
Yes.
And I think this would.
If you say Joe Brady, I'm turning the stream off.
No, but we're going to the NFL. Let's go Mike McDaniel. I think his offense has been hamstrung by Tua Tagovailoa, who is not a good NFL quarterback, is not a good leader of men, who is extremely terrible as a decision maker. He would help get our run game going. I wanted to give you a wild one. I don't want to give you.
I'm going Kirby Moore
of Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. One offense I've always loved, and if you are a Lane fan, this would be something. Now,
Charlie Weiss Jr. is never leaving.
No, I'm not saying him. This one would be met with a ton of controversy, and you would need to obviously deal with that. That is something that would be Woodward's cross to bear. But Kendall
if you
Briles,
say Jimbo Fisher, I swear to God.
No, Kendall Briles is constantly.
Oh, that's not that really big cross to bear.
Yeah, it is. Anytime you've had any issues with you know what, and you bring in someone with that last name, there's
fair. Okay,
there's no you.
But Woodward wasn't here when all that happened.
Yes, but it's still something. It's something. People wouldn't care that.
You know where I'm going?
Let's go.
Second, when Bobby P doesn't get the Arkansas job, I'm giving him $1.5 million to $2 million and telling him to come here.
Yeah, he's done the best job calling plays in the SEC this year.
Yep.
To me, and he was great last year too. Yeah.
Because I don't think he's getting that job. I think that Juracek has been told if they don't go somewhere else that their money's getting cut. Bobby P still got a lot of people that don't like him. Book it.
Oh, at Arkansas? Oh, yeah. But the one thing
women don't like him.
Well.
All right.
We'll see you, man.
Love you, buddy.
See you, bud. Cheers. Go Tigers.
Carter the Power Bryant. We've been here for 2 hours. See you tomorrow. Peace.